to the PBC. It's your boy PBK9s, giving it to you the way I always do, fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. Some gonna like it, and some ain't. Man, I got a great interview for my brothers and sisters today in the dog world. You know, hope everybody having a great day out there across the world, no matter what continent you're in, North America, all my people in South America, Africa, Europe, and Asia. You know, y'all come on up in here and tune in, bring your popcorn, get your smoke, your cigarettes, or whatever you like to do to get comfortable. We got some great dog talk today. And I got Mr. Buffalo Soldier. You know, I had to correct myself, Mr. Buffalo Soldier, because when I text you yesterday, I said, I told you, thank you, bro. You not my bro. You old enough to be my granddaddy. You know, so
Yeah.
I had to correct myself on that. You know, we could be brothers in the fraternity, but at the end of the day, you still old enough to be my granddaddy. So I gotta, you know, handle it like that. You know, how you doing today?
Right. All right. All right.
Yes, sir, man. Now,
Let me add something to what you said
okay.
about me being old enough for your granddaddy.
Yes, sir.
Many times when I talk to dog man about the dogs, or people, period, I generally ask how old they are because of the fact that I'm old, and some of the stuff that I might talk about to the you younger generation, you may not even know what I'm talking about. So uh, be conscious of that. And if I talk deeper than what you can understand, just let me know. I'll explain it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now,
Okay.
my first question, how do you get the name Buffalo Soldier?
I got the name Buffalo Soldier off the original Buffalo Soldiers of yesterday because they were the Black Warriors.
Yes,
And
sir.
I took on that name for myself because I'm the same Black Warrior living in the modern day times. So I can't do it in the way that it was done by the old Buffalo Soldiers, but we living in a time of turmoil as we speak,
Yes,
and
sir.
we need to unite all of the Buffalo Soldiers of today. And but the brothers know, they know. So that's that's a name I took on, and I'm still proud of that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I hear you on that. I hear you on that. Now, this is one topic we was talking about on our last interview, and I want to kind of start with this to kind of see where we can go at from there. Um, a lot, and I said this on the last interview. A lot of, I'm gonna say, at least 90% of my dog brothers that's my age, that's in the 40s on down, you know,
Yeah.
we never heard about Mr. Wilson. You know, Mr. Wilson from the Chicago area.
Right.
Can you tell us about and who Mr. Wilson was?
Jim Wilson was a dog man originally from Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
Jim came to Chicago in his 20s, and he brought dogs with him from Alabama when he came to Chicago. And he came to Chicago and got to be associates, friends, or whatever you want to call it, with Joe Corvino and a lot of other dog men here in Chicago and all over the country, really. Jim Wilson. He was a hell of a breeder, and he would sell dogs as puppies. And the people would take those puppies and put their names on it, and they'd never give Jim the credit for that. But I don't think he really cared so much about being recognized because as I speak of him today, that's his legacy because He didn't have to say anything. What he has done, it shows up today. I named a list of dog men that were shopping with Jim Wilson here in Chicago. And I can name you some that you may not have gotten them all. Pat Patrick, Bert Sauls, uh, uh, Bert Klaus, Mayfield, Howard Heinzel, and some many more that I probably don't know about. But Jim was a hell of a breeder, and he never gets credit for that. That's why I speak fondly of him today. And he was old enough to be my father. But I'm so glad that he took me under his wing and showed me the way. It's Jim Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now, now I asked, and I'm gonna ask it again. Why do you think Mr. Wilson was recognized in the publications that came out, the books that came out all through the years?
Why you black? You black? You black? Why you think? You know, you can analyze that for yourself by activities going on today.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, for that same reason, black man, keep your foot on his neck. You know, and that's why he wasn't recognized by many publishers, writers of book, authors. A lot of them didn't know him. Then some of them did know him, and they just didn't give him the credit that he deserved.
So
that's just factual.
Yeah. So let me ask you this real quick before we move on. Do you think Mr. Wilson would have been bulldogging before we got all our civil rights and the civil rights movement and all that? You think he would have been having his bulldogs during them times?
Oh, what times are you talking about? Because that term of civil rights, 50s until the civil rights bill of the 60s was passed. But
yeah, I'm talking about the 50s, maybe about the 50s, even the 40s.
Even 40s and 50s. That was Jim's era.
Okay.
Here's a little story I know about Jim. I'll share with the fraternity.
Okay.
Jim went with Joe Corvino and Fairchild. He's another dog man and a confidant of Jim Wilson's. His name was Tom Fairchild. Yeah. Anyway, Joe bought a brand new Cadillac, and he took Jim and Fairchild with him, and they took a ride to Mississippi to a match. And certainly all the white people there with Jim and Fairchild were only black people there. I might add this little note. Fairchild was so light that he looked like he was white. You know, he could pass for white, Fairchild could. But they went to Mississippi to a match, and the other guys wanted to know who were those two niggers. You know, I'm saying that because I'm sure that's the way they described it. And Joe let them know that they're with me, and there were no more questions asked. That's a real story. Jim and Tom were confidants with Joe Corvino. They were. I don't know what that relationship was, but they had a relationship.
Mm.
Yeah, that was in the 40s. Yeah. 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard of and like I always tell all my dog brothers, I deal with everybody, the white brothers, the black brothers, the Spanish brothers, everybody. So I don't want to look like it's one sided, but I always, I never heard of a black bulldogger from back in them days until I spoke to you about Mr. Wilson.
Oh man. Oh yeah. And yeah, plenty of black dog men that never call their name, or and that's the case right now. There's plenty of dog men like today, but I don't know who they are, neither do you.
Yeah, you're right
That's the
about
way
that.
they want it.
You're right about that.
So that's the way that goes. But Jim lived in a time when it was more open. As a matter of fact, that it was just a matter of, yeah, you guys quit doing that. Get out of here. End of story. Back in those days. But in the 80s, we let the girls know what we were doing. And the girls are rough. I'll say that. I'm talking about the humaniacs. That's how I could describe that. The humaniacs. They endorse two men getting into the ring doing the same thing that two dogs would do. But it's legal for two men to do it because they got to pay a fee to get a license. So that makes a lucrative market for those that's trying to stop what's going on. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now,
I mean,
go ahead.
yeah, that's it's not something they're gonna ever stop. It's a sport. And men have been sporting like that for centuries. And they can't stop that. But they're still trying. I'll say, yeah, they're trying to do so. But I'll tell you something, what has happened, and it's not good, without having show news, accurate show news, it affects the breed because you don't know what's real and what's fictitious.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the fact that we got so many people out here that are peddling pedigrees. Pedigrees don't scratch. So that's what that is. Where was I?
You,
Oh, the pedigree.
yeah, you saying the
Yeah,
pedigrees don't
pedigrees
scratch.
don't scratch. So, the dog makes the pedigree. So everybody's worried about what line, what bloodline, whatever. You create your own bloodline. And I say that meaning that breed your own dogs the way you want them bred. And you don't have to worry about a particular line because you've bred your own dog and you know what's in there. Now, if you breed something and you got a family of dogs and they're winning, then you should continue to use that. That dog may be somebody never heard of, could be a cur, but he might be the one that's throwing the fire in your dogs. So I say that, see, I have, all I have left of my family of dogs are straws of a one last stud dog I had. And I'll say that because that's my batter. That's my cup of soup that I've created for myself.
Yeah.
And over the years, all people always ask me, what line am I using? What line? I'm using what I bred. I bred my own dogs, and all I can tell them is how I started. And I started with Thunderball, who I told you was staff. He's a staff. Can I say? But the bottom side of his staff blood, I can identify as Tacoma. And I bred Thunderball to a pure Bayfield bitch, Dabo, and I got good results. So uh, I say all of that just to say, guys, if you got something that you like, then continue to breed what you like. It's not about the pedigree. It's about the word of the man that made out the pedigree. So that, yeah, it's reach your own. And your word is your bond in the game, period. You know, that pedigree is based upon your word.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's only what you say. If you register it, it's only based on what you put on the pedigree. So, you know, you want to make a pretty pedigree and have an unproven dog, then good luck. But I've never done it that way. And if I were able, today I would have a dog, but I'm unable to have a dog. I don't, I don't have the help enough to have a dog. So
And the fraternity, I'm not gonna say everybody, but a large amount of people are doing exactly the opposite of what you said as far as going off pedigrees. A pretty pedigree is what they're looking for. If you can be the most honest dog man out there, and you can have some of the best bulldogs it is, but if you're not, and you can be one of the most trustworthy people out there as well, but if you don't got that pretty fancy pedigree and maybe some of the more well-known dog men from back in the days, some of the older dog men, a lot of the older dog men from back in the days that still float around, their word ain't they bond. The word ain't bond. You can't really. They going off of just because they old schoolers,
yeah,
and
that-
that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. It's not. It's almost exactly the opposite of what you said you need to be looking for.
yeah, that's what it is. People are, that's the first. What line are you using? I'm using my line. That's what I'm proud of. Though I've had shown many dogs that were not of my line,
Yeah.
but for the most part, I've used the ones that I bred myself, and I was proud of them. Yeah, I do. I have to pat myself on the back for the ones I bred myself and was able to show them back in the day. That yeah, I've shown dogs for other people, true enough. But the real glory of it was showing one of my own dogs and going out and winning with that dog. That's a good feeling.
Now, I know a lot of brothers that want to know this question because they have so many different answers for it. Everybody got a different answer for it. It's something you was talking about just now. What does it take to have your own line? What does it take for you to call that your line?
You breed the dog, and you get a good dog out of that breeding from the male and female. All right. So you got the puppies out of that, and you breed the brother and the sister. Or inbreed back in father and daughter, daughter and or son and mother. But you bred back into the same family that you got what you think is good out of.
Yeah.
So the best way to keep what you think is good, you go back to the tree that produced the fruit.
Yeah.
And I ain't be telling y'all all this shit, y'all.
Hey, you can't give them all your secrets, huh?
Uh-huh.
I said you can't give them all the secrets, huh?
Well, I'm done. I'm through with dogs. I give you a lot
Yeah.
because I want to see y'all have good dogs. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And but every dog man has got his own stories, about how he did it back in the day.
Yeah.
And, I did it my way. That's what Ken Allen put on his tombstone. I did it my way. He got two bulldogs locked into each other on his tombstone.
Oh, dang.
I saw a picture of it. Ken Allen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good dog man of old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of us heard about Mr. Ken Allen
Yeah.
with the tornado
Yeah.
dog.
I beat Rebel 4 times, and he beat me. Ken Allen beat me 3 times, I think. Yeah.
Dang. He was a part of Rebel Kennels.
No,
Okay.
he was a part of that A team.
Okay. Okay.
That's a team of yesterday, but I know Ken Allen was a part of it, the A team.
Okay. Yeah. I heard of the 18.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
now when you was younger, I know you said that your dog was part staff and had the Tacoma stuff, and it was bred to the Dabo, Mr. Mayfield Dabo stuff. Was Dabo, or what was some of the more popular dogs when you was just getting into the dog game?
That was one of them. Well, I was interested in the Dabo blood because I was directed to it
Yeah.
by Jim Wilson and Fairchild, especially Fairchild. He always told me, get as much of that old Dabo blood as you can get and keep it. And I did that. But that was my preference of family of dogs. But everybody's got a different family that they admire of dogs. So, you learn to you like what you like.
Yeah.
But you have to prove what you like to yourself. Remember that. That's important. You have to prove what you like to yourself. That, well, the better glory is to be able to go out and win with what you produced yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Can't lie to yourself. I say you can't lie to yourself. You might can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself.
Well, that square is a lie detector.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna tell who's lying and what the truth is.
Yes, sir.
And that's been my story of life. I have to say that to the dog man. That's another part of Buffalo Soldiers. My political life and my dog life kind of entwined together because I'm a person that seeks the truth. And I found the truth with the dogs. That was easy to do. Full of laugh. I'm still in search of the truth politically, or I'll say I've found enough of the truth to know that we've been bamboozled. And I'm still searching for more truth, put it that way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I have to say that my personal life, my political life, and my dog life was entwined together because I'm a truth seeker. Yeah, I'm a truth seeker. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what you're trying to see with the dog. You're trying to find out what the truth is. So that's the little story I had to tell about myself personally. Now, I'm a truth seeker. So my dogs were a family. That's what the subject was. Yeah, a family of dogs that I fancy. But there are many families out there that are good. whatever he finds is good. Jim Wilson also was the foundation at polio. Now, I say that because of the dog Zeke he was talking about.
Yeah.
That was polio's daddy. But Jim used to always be telling me about Zeke. Zeke, well, Zeke either bred Zeke or he bred to Zeke a lot. But the back side of Zeke is Jim bred. I think it's the Goldie bitch. Yeah, the backside of Zeke, Jim bred. So.
And you don't see his name nowhere on the pedigree when you look up there.
No, man, you don't.
Excuse me, I ain't meant to cut you off. That's another person that you mentioned on the last one that was coming to buy dogs from Zeke, Indian Sonny.
No, he was shopping with Jim too.
Yeah, I mean Jim. I meant to say Jim. Sorry about that.
Indian Sonny. He had here's the story. Indian Sonny had a grown dog that he bought from Jim. His name was Rhino. And when Indian Sonny got him, he changed his name to, I think, California Spike or something like that. And Indian Sonny's still alive. He can validate that story. And Indian Sonny could validate Jim Wilson because he dealt with Jim. And he got probably some stories about the dog, California Spike, I think it was. He bought him from Jim as a grown dog and took him out and proved him. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Indian Sonny. And he's still alive, but he's very low key and has been. I saw him one time at a show. I didn't get to talk with him, but somewhere I saw him at a show.
Yeah.
And I don't remember where, but yeah.
So
yeah, he was another one shopping with Jim.
So we always, when we be in these groups sometime and we be having discussion about the old school dogs, at least myself, I always wonder, was Dabo the dog that people try to make him out to be? So he must have been a pretty good dog back in them days.
Well, I can't say that because that was Earl Tudor owned him, and I guess, and his brother, Howard Hainsel, had him. What the hell was his name? Later made to Diebold. Arizona Pete.
Okay.
Yeah, Arizona Pete. That was Howard Hainsel's dog. And he bred his dog different ways. And Mayfield bred another way.
Yeah.
See, there's a lot of branches to a tree.
Yeah.
And but a lot of those branches, what I'm saying, go right back to old Diebold. He was a real potent dog, and they recognized it real early. So they bred the hell out of a Diebold, I guess. You can trace back many dogs, and a lot of them go right back to Diebold, Earl Tudor.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, at least 60-some%, if not 70-some% of the dogs that's out now go back to Dabo.
Yeah, Diebold. And I had that stuff for spirits. It came, and I don't have a drop of that blood left. I lost all of it. One bad mistake after another. And believe me, I've had plenty of those pure Diebold dogs. I mean, lots of them. Grown ones, young ones. I would say at least 10 of them.
Yeah.
Including puppies. But I had bad luck in getting them up alive, keeping them up to get them up to speed. I had one male, I got him up to 2 years old. He was pure. He was out of Mason. He was out of Nebraska and Dallas. he got to be 2 years old and just snapped on me. He went crazy. Like
Dang.
he couldn't live in a kennel. He had to be out on a. He wanted to be out on a chain, but I didn't have chain space for him, and he was a nasty dog. He would sleep in his own waste, and in a cold climate, that shit sticks to him. I mean, and it's wet, so I think that he might have got pneumonia or something. But he died at 2 years old. Never had a tooth on him.
Dang.
Beautiful dog, yeah. And Mother Corvini, that's the last one I had. She was out of her brother's sister breeding. Mama had Brownie, and yeah, Brownie was one of them. And then she was bred brother and sister. And I had a daughter out of that. She was 3 years old. And she got sick on me in '07. And I'm out in Vegas partying. I should have given her some attention before I left. And I had my guy to go feed her, and she was dead.
Dang.
Yep. She was another pure, never had a tooth on her. Yes. She was pure. Yeah. And the dog, Dallas, you see her as Mayfield, Dallas, and what's the name? Kirshner's pedigree. But I bought Dallas from Mayfield. That wasn't Mayfield's dog. And the little bitch Taz in his pedigree. Sophie got her from me and went and sold her to him, which, was his business.
Yeah.
Sophie was just a wheeler dealer on the Mayfield nigger dogs. I think he just enjoyed saying the word nigger. He wasn't one of my favorite people,
Yeah.
but we dealt. I'm like you. Business is business.
Yeah.
And I've dealt with just white guys, black guys, brown guys. His business is business.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I was, I had so much courtesy and respect out of those top flight white dog men that we talking about. That we might have shared political differences, but we didn't come to talk politics. We come to prove our dogs.
Yeah. Who got the better dogs?
That's what it's about. It's a sport. That's the first thing that young guys got to understand. It's a gentleman's sport. And being a gentleman's sport, you whip up you a batch of soup, you bring it to the table and see how it tastes.
Yeah.
That's just the thing. That you gotta prove what you got. And the amount of money you bet is certainly up to you. How much you believe in what you got. Money ain't the biggest issue. It's about proving. That's what it's about. Prove your dog.
Yep. Now, a lot of my dogs that I run now, they come down off that Mayfield stuff, Mayfield's Duke, and several more Mayfield dogs. You ever seen that Duke dog that he had?
Yeah, I never saw the dog. I saw him in the pedigree.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I never saw the dog.
Now, what you were saying just now is 100% correct. I've tried to preach that to these brothers so much, man, that it's not you coming to see who got the most money in their pocket, or you coming to see who got the better bulldog. Because see, a lot of the cheating that goes on from modern day time and back in the 90s on up, a lot of the cheating people wouldn't have had no reason to rub their dog. People wouldn't have had no reason to do all this stuff if you don't got $50,000, $100,000 on the show. You can put drink a beer. You can go out there and drink beers and figure out who got the better bulldog. That's where the feeling come in. I mean, everybody want to win some money. I can't say if I win $100,000, it wouldn't feel damn good, but to know that you got a bulldog that couldn't be stopped, that's a hellified feeling.
That was the saying that Jim Wilson had. He said, turn him loose. We'll sit down and drink a beer.
Yeah.
And that's what when he said that, he mean, let's let him go. You can't help him. Let him do what he got to do. The dog.
Yeah.
Of course, it does help to coach him on and for him to hear your voice. So you got to be a handler. You know that.
Yeah.
You want to hear your voice sometime, but as far as helping, you can't help him, and nothing you can do but coach him on.
Mm-hmm.
Something you said that I wanted to quote from Kimbrough, who was a friend of mine in Arkansas. But it isn't just about proving you know. Just all of that unnecessary hooping and hollering, doing whatever you do. It's not necessary, but these young people still having shows and open to the public. I heard.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be going to nothing like that.
Yeah, they open to the public now. Damn near.
Yeah. Huh?
I say damn near they open to the public now.
Yeah, but that ain't cool at all.
Nope.
That's these young people.
Mm-hmm.
Just getting into it. They don't know. And I know they be wanting to talk to us old timers and get a little knowledge we got. But they got a rough edge on them, and it's pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult to talk to the guys under 40. And some of them that's true to the game, they'll humbly come to the old timer and ask for help.
Yeah.
We're more receptive to that than it is, him hooping and hollering and not knowing a lot, but running his mouth and can't back it up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that goes with youth. I've always been, I don't have a lot to talk about. Let's get this proven. I was the same way when I was drag racing back in my day. Same thing is that yoing and yon and back and forth and you bitch this and you puss out. Hey man, let's get this done.
Yeah.
Simple as that. All that ain't necessary. And that's the way I was with the cars and everything. I can recall a story of my cars that I had. It built me a 57 Chevy. The guys come with a car on a trailer and everybody was scared of him because he was on a trailer. It's got to be fast or whatever. And that was my attitude. Get it off the trailer and let's see who got the better car. And I ain't know nothing about it. He was a drag racer and so was I.
Yeah.
So let's see. I was proud of that. And everybody was scared of him. I whooped him. Same thing with the Rebel. Rebel was the king of the South, man.
Rebel
back
Kennels.
in the day. Rebel Kennels.
Yeah, you say Rebel Kennels was the king of the South?
Oh, man, yes. Yeah, anybody back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And he deserved it. That boy was bad. He had some bad dogs. And he was real competitive. That's what I liked about him. Because he was real competitive. And he told me when I met him that we was going to do it. He treated me like a brother. And he did just that. In the end, he had to turn some guys in because they was in the crime,
Yeah.
the dope game. And he had to roll over on some guys So a lot of guys hate him. But I can only treat a man the way he's treated me.
Yep.
I
Yep.
can't hate him because y'all hate him. So I never knew Ricky Jones. I wrote that in a story too. I wrote one time. I never knew Ricky Jones. I knew the rebel, the dog man,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's as far as that went.
I think he did an interview for one of the brothers a couple years back, maybe. I want to say no more than 2 years. One of the brothers that was doing YouTube channels. I think he came up there and did an interview for one of them brothers. Yep.
For he came where?
It was no more than 2 years ago now. It wasn't no more than 2 years. I want to say the guy Triple J, he was running a YouTube channel. I think he had Ricky up there giving him an interview. It was a good interview.
Oh, it was 2 years ago.
It might not have been 2 years. I'm just giving it 2 years at the most because time be flying.
Oh,
It might not have been 2 years, but I know it was at least in 2025 or 24, 2025 or 2024, at least.
I'm gonna get that guy a call just to say hello to him because I can find him.
Yeah.
But I didn't know Ricky was. I talked to him lately, but I have talked to him since he's been back on the ground.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
he's the chicken man.
They say he had a hellified keep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he can get one in shape, boy.
Yeah.
And I ain't hear that from him. I heard that from other people. Other people speaking on him.
So did I. Yeah. Jim Wilson, Coney. Yeah, I don't hear about Coney, but he's another dog man. He had a family of dogs. Between Jim Wilson, Coney, and Pat Bojanowski, Nate, Chicago Nate, all them guys was good. They were teaching me a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they were the guys that were established already when I came into the game. But they taught me a lot about how to get one in shape. And I loved doing it. That was the best part about it. I loved doing it. And my wife was good enough to allow me some time to go do it. God bless her soul. Yeah, as I asked you, I was in business. But I was going to walk that dog every day because I love doing it, man.
Yeah.
So you got to have your heart in it. The first thing is to have a dog.
Yeah.
And if you got a good enough dog that you're willing to go out and prove, 65% of that is a keep. Let me repeat that. 65% of the keep is walking your dog. And you should enjoy doing it, really. I did. I love doing it. And
so you would rather do the road work instead of a treadmill. If you had do your walking and stuff, you take that over the treadmill.
Both, man. Well, listen, you and all the other dog men in the fraternity. Let me say this to y'all. You make a keep seem like it's a big thing. You make it way bigger than what it really is.
Yeah.
It's very basic. Hard work, good food, and rest. That's very basic. And the hard work is whatever you can think of to get his ass tired in the run of a day.
Yeah.
Whatever you can think of to make him work. But yeah, I did road work, meal work, swimming. whatever you can do. And like I said, you got to have your heart in it, though. You got to like doing it. But that 65% of the match is the key. And when it's showtime, it should be ready and shining like new money.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You better be ready. And that's the way it is.
Yeah. Now, do you ever had any dealings with Mr. Chavis and the Jocko dog that he had?
No, but I got something. Don't say that. I don't. My son has got something real close out of his yard.
Yeah.
The Jocko Red Boy stuff.
Okay.
And he got that dog from Hideout Kennels. Yeah, Hideout, yeah. And Hideout was dealing with Fletcher Chavis direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, direct. And my son has got a dog from Hideout. That's how it's bred too.
Okay.
And one timer, put it that way. Yes. She's, yeah. Yeah. It's Red Boy Jocko. Yeah, it's still around. What can I say?
Yeah. And we was wondering, a lot of the younger brothers was wondering, have you ever seen anything cross with Jocko other than Red Boy? Because only thing we ever seen cross with the Jocko was Red Boy stuff.
Let me tell you. Yes, I did have seen one. They had one named Scarface. And he was Scarface now.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was crossed with Red Boy Jocko, Caesar. Caesar is a bloodline up here in Chicago that I mentioned that guy Cooney.
Yep.
Cooney and Tommy Richardson produced that bloodline.
Mm.
And his boy Caesar James, his name was back, he's dead now, brought me a dog to keep for them. But he was real ugly in the face.
Oh.
But you talk about game. Man, he was one of the gamest one I've seen. I mean, just game. And it was Caesar and Jocko. Now that Caesar blood, you don't know nothing about that because you don't.
Yeah. No, I don't know nothing about that.
Now the original, well, there was a famous dog called Cassius Clay. You ever heard of him? The bands, Cassius Clay.
It sounds familiar, but it don't click a light
Okay.
right offhand.
Okay, that's way back. Now they had a dog named Cassius Clay, but it was bred down off of that Caesar blood that I'm telling you about, that the brothers bred.
Yeah.
Tony and Tommy. Cassius Clay beat Strider, Greenwood's Strider. Ralph Greenwood, that's his name. He owned the magazine,
Yeah, I know.
Pedigree Online.
Yep, I know Mr. Greenwood.
Okay. Strider beat every dog but Cassius Clay. That's what he was. He couldn't whoop Cassius Clay, but they say he went on to become 5 or 6 time winners after that.
Dang.
Yeah. But Cassius Clay had stopped him. And that bloodline goes back to the old Caesar dogs that old man got now. And they're a good bloodline, I must say. they pull teeth. Yeah, they're dentists. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say them. One I saw, I was there since 7, 8 years ago. Might have been longer than that. His name was Casino. He won the first hour. He lost the second hour. Came back screaming in the third hour.
Damn.
Bad ass dog. Bad man. And he was at old cause his old blood now. But it's the family he got from his dog daddy was Cooney. Cooney is dead and gone now too, but they're a good family of dogs. But that guy's like so many dog business, totally secret. They, he want people to know they have a dog.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. The only reason I'm talking because I ain't got no dog. So you don't have to worry about me. Plus, I'm 81 years old on oxygen, so ain't no such thing as people wasting their time with me.
Yeah.
I'm homeless.
Yeah.
I'm homeless. Yeah, so. But yeah, there are many, many dogs that black men got or have had that you never hear about it. You never know about it because you know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, that's just one that Coney. I mentioned him because that's a family of dogs that this guy got, and they proven. Yeah, they are proven. And you mentioned that boy Caesar Jones has crossed that with a Jocko female, I think. And that dog Scarface, oh man, was he gay?
Damn.
He was, but yeah, he was gay, man. But they front end dogs. I say they dentists. Yeah, they go and take out all the teeth. And Scarface paid for that because he was a real Scarface from his change.
Damn.
He was ugly. And it turns out had some dirt in his closet, and I didn't know about it. But told the guy, come and get your dog. And he did. So, but I wanted nothing to do with no dirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, he came and got him. But he was a dog, I can tell you that. In hindsight, I should have bred him to one of my females. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. So to answer to your question, that Jocko blood, yes, it's good blood. Yeah.
How about the Bolio Eli crosses? You seen many good ones off that cross?
When you get that shit real and for real, I mean,
Yeah.
both of yeah, but you gotta don't be that on paper. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
go to the lab and find out what that is because yeah, Bolio, son had bought a Bolio dog that didn't turn out so good, but he did that because he knew about Bolio's pedigree and Jim. My son met Jim. He was around long enough
Oh,
for
dang.
my son to meet him. And yeah, that was a feather in his cap that Jim gave him a good grade, as a matter of fact. My son.
Dang.
Uh, so,
Dang.
yeah, that was pretty good. My son been around these dogs since he's 15 years old. So he knows a lot of the stories too. A lot of them, You don't know all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I asked you last time. Uh, give me a. Was it a certain dog out that you felt like was a force to be reckoned with? And we got to talking about Farad. Can you give these brothers and sisters? Let's start off and start talking about Farad and his career, his legacy, and how it started. When did you know that he was a special dog?
When he stopped 4 in a row,
4 in a row.
I tested him 4 times in a row, and he stopped 4 dogs rolling, man. I mean, we started about 7 months old. Just but and one of them was a grand champion Applejack, but Applejack was too small. But I was 50 some pounds at 7 months old.
Dang.
Yeah, he's a big dog. Yeah. And Applejack was a 30 some pound dog. So Rob beat his ass. He stopped him. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I rolled him 4 times, and he proved to me that he was absolutely Thunder's son. And I took about 7 times the contracts. And every one was a contract. And he made good representation of himself.
Yeah.
And staff blood my ass. Give me some more like that.
Yeah.
And I told you about Stacy. Now Stacy was definitely all staff. Thunder was her daddy too. But I didn't do it. My son did it. He bred Thunder to a bus driver's staff and got Stacy. And boy, that was another one out of the litter. And boy, wasn't good. Stacy was a freak of nature.
Dang.
She was just a freak of nature. That was Ra's half sister. They was both out of fun. And Stacy just had greater ability from what I saw than Ra. She was fast as lightning. And that's the position. That's what Thunderball was. To be so big. He was a big dog. And he was fast as lightning. Ra was one that studied his moves. He was methodical, I think the word is. Just work one down and yeah, do what was necessary. Match number 6 with Rebel Kennels. That's when they brought Tiny Tank for Farrar. Now that was a good one. I wish that could have been video some kind of way. And that was a good match. I beat Rebel one time, and he was coming back the second time with 2 guns on me.
Dang.
I understand. He's really coming to get me. They brought a bad one too. He was, but Ross shut him down in 47 minutes. And that was a battle, man. I ain't gonna even, I'm talking too much now with description, but uh, it, it was a good match. Put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put it that way, man. It's like
You think he was the hardest? He think he was the hardest show for Farad?
outside of Farrar getting stopped at his number 8,
Oh, okay.
he was the hardest one. Number 6. Yeah, that was it was a hard one too. But I was, and my whole point of telling that story was he really proved to me that night that he was truly Thunder's son, because he showed that he was just as bad as his daddy.
Dang.
And he's a bad boy. He won 7 contracts. I lost my number 8 to a dog named Shadow. And I still believe in the back of my mind that might have been Thunder's son too, because they stole Thunder from me.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, yeah. That's all the pieces seem to point to that story.
Dang. And they'll do
Yeah.
something like that too. Steal your dog and then breed it and bring some of your own stuff back into you.
You know, the circumstances make, the circumstances make me say that,
Yeah.
because there's a guy up here named Tracy. He contradicts me all the time. He might be right, I don't know, but I have my story about that. And my story is the fact that the man I retrieved Thunder from up in Racine, Wisconsin, was in the bed with the owner of Tarzan. Now, I have to say that because Lisa Bob / Aaron and Fluff were big buddies back then. I didn't know that.
Mm.
And Lisa Bob passed away a year and a half ago. And Fluff was at his side. He came to see him. I never knew they were good friends like that,
Yeah.
but they must have been very good friends. And after doing my research, I found out, yeah, they had been friends. They had shown dogs together before. And I tell that story because Fluff had my dog. He didn't steal my dog. My dog was stolen by Tom, who was Fat Donald's brother. And it ended up that Thunder was in the hands of Fluff. They had Thunder for 7 or 8 months.
Dang.
And I finally got him back. And 2 years later, Shadow pops up, and him and Farrar look just alike. That's the whole thing about the story. They look just alike. So be it. But that's a story I have to tell the dog, man. I kept it to myself really all these years, but I never knew they were friends like that. And at the end of the day, I got my dog back from Fluff in Racine, Wisconsin, by other dog men directing me to him. And he was waiting for me to come and get him. He gave him back to me. He knew about it. But they had Thunder for about 8 or 9 months. And I got him back, and I was thankful just to get him back.
Was he still in
Yeah.
good shape?
No, he was limping. It had something wrong with his hip.
Dang.
So, yeah, he lived to be 11 years old. I think I got him back. He was 10, 9 or 10 when I got him back.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they had done, took him out there. And he was old then. He was old when they stole him.
Dang.
Well, that was the dog that I based my family on, Thunderball. Whereto the pure Diabo bitch.
And Thunderball was a Tacoma and a staff.
The staff was a dog named Satan. Oldest is Satan. His pedigree is on Pedigree Online. Matter of fact, the other long form is on it pedigrees online, all the way back, further than I knew. Back to Earl Tudor's yard, Bill, and beyond. But I can only go by what I had.
Yeah.
I had him, and I'm so thankful for having him because that was one badass dog. Let me tell you, and he was well, he was the only Pitbull I ever had. Yes, and I say that because he was my buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was my buddy. You know how you bond with your dog?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I'll give you a story. This dog, BB, one of the dogs they took from me. I told you about him last time, I think.
I heard you say something about BB, but I'm listening to you.
From Thunderball to BB. I couldn't believe that BB was another damn good dog that the Lord had blessed me with. Now, BB was 3 out of 3, and he wasn't even 3.
Dang.
Yeah, he went an hour and 12 off the chain. He went 2 hours under contract and an hour and 43 under a contract. And the people came and took him from him, man.
Dang.
He was ready for the pass lane. And I couldn't believe myself that he was another bad one. But the story is, he had chosen me. Well, as I would be feeding my dogs, he would follow me around as a little bitty puppy. And he was trying to bond with me as a little bitty puppy to, I'm your next project.
Yeah. Dang.
That was BB. Yeah. I'm your next project. And he proved to be just that. Good one, man. A good one.
How old he was when they took him?
3.
3.
Yeah, he had just made 3.
Yeah.
And he had been out. And he was healed up. He was all right when they came.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tried to make something out of nothing, but that was nothing. I ain't studying them people. And I would tell y'all more stories, but I don't know. Some of them just don't need to be told.
Yeah, I understand that.
Uh,
I understand that. Now, what I asked you about, if you could have 2 dogs to start your yard back up, you told me Farad and Stacy. Okay, now, yeah, and I got a question. If you had Stacy, but you had to choose between Farad and Thunderbolt, which one would you use?
I did it. So, Farad.
Okay.
I quit Farad. No. Yeah. Farad and Stacy. I put them 2 together. But your question is, would I breed Thunder or Farad? What are you saying?
Yeah, if you had to start all back over from ground zero, and we still had the laws like back in the days, and it wasn't all these crazy laws like now, and everything was like it was back then, and you had to use either Thunder or Farad, which one would you use to go back with Stacy? You couldn't use but one of them though.
Well, that's a good question. But I'm going to have to say, uh, I bred Thunder to Stacy. Just, yeah, that's what got the litter. Yes, that's what got the litter. Breed Thunder to Stacy. Now, for Raw, he would have had to produce because of that Dabo bitch, his mama. So I, 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 I can't honestly answer that because I did breed Thunder to Stacy.
Okay.
Didn't I bred for Raw to Stacy, and that's the family. That's what I stand on. The dog named Gucci
Okay.
was a Stacy Farrar pup.
Mm.
She was a girl. She was the only one living, and she was out of Stacy and Farrar. And I bred her to Braskin and added more of the Dabo blood. That produced Sister Soldier. And that's the one I bred to Miles Davis to get Jelly Roll Red. That's how it goes. I got this written down. I got it in my head too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I hope I answered your call.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, answer that question, but I would have to say, well, understand. Now, a breeding that I did make, and that was a disaster. I bred Rob to his mother. I got a female named Mississippi. I put her out with a doctor. She was cold. He brought her back. I bred her to Thunder. She jumped the fence and hung herself with the puppies in her belly. That was a good breeding. Very, very good breeding, but wasn't God's will.
Yeah.
It's a sad story, really.
All right.
That's a true story. That was a breeding out of Farrar bred back to that Dabo bitch. And I bred her to Thunder.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, my son's trying to get in touch with me, man.
Okay.
And
You talk about now?
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So listen, we can cut this off now. You can continue it later, or we can talk again later.
Yeah, I'll just give you the call back a little later after you handle your business and stuff. And I appreciate it. You gave these brothers and sisters enough for that old school dog talk. And like I said, we'll do another one where we'll catch back up on things. And we was talking about when we quit this one, we was talking about the breeding you made with Farad and back to his mama, and then you got the puppy off that, and it was a cold bitch, and another fellow brought him back to breed to Thunder.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we'll just remember the subject matter, and we'll pick up and do some more talking.
Yes, sir. And I really appreciate it, and thank you, man.
All right, now.
And
Take care.
You have a good day too.
All right.
All right.